before you turn 30. There's a trap most people fall into, and they don't even see it coming. They chase money, titles, approval, but forget the only 3 investments that actually shape their future. Not just financially, but mentally, socially, and emotionally. If you're in your 20s, you're sitting on the most valuable asset you'll ever have: time. But most people trade that time for short-term comfort. They scroll, they wait, they survive. And by the time they realize it, the opportunity window is already closing. This video isn't about crypto, stocks, or some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about the only 3 investments you should make before 30 if you want freedom, fulfillment, and options in life. If you lock these in early, everything else becomes easier. If you ignore them, you'll spend your 30s and 40s playing catch-up. Let's break them down, starting with the most overlooked one. The first and most underrated investment you can make before 30 is in your own knowledge. Not just college, not just degrees, but real, practical, often uncomfortable learning. Books that challenge how you think. Courses that force you to level up. Side projects that fail and teach you more than success ever could. See, money invested in knowledge doesn't just grow, it compounds. Every new skill you learn, every mindset shift you experience, stacks on top of the last. And suddenly, opportunities that you used to feel out of reach start showing up, not because the world changed, but because you did. Think about it. Jeff Bezos read hundreds of books before launching Amazon. Warren Buffett spends 80% of his day reading. The most successful people on the planet treat learning like oxygen. They can't live without it. And here's the truth most people miss. You don't need to be born smart. You just need to stay curious. If you invest your 20s in becoming a learner, your 30s will become your launch pad. But if you skip this step, you'll keep solving $10 problems with a $1 mindset. So ask yourself, are you spending more time consuming content or mastering knowledge? Because the two are not the same. The second investment you can't afford to ignore before 30 is your network. You probably heard the phrase, your network is your net worth. But here's what they don't tell you. It's not about knowing more people. It's about knowing the right people. The ones who challenge you, inspire you, hold you accountable. The ones who see potential in you before you see it in yourself. Most people wait until they need help to start building relationships. That's too late. The best connections are built when there's nothing to gain, only value to give. And when you're in your 20s, that value might be time, energy, or simply being someone people love to work with. Think of it like planting seeds. Every conversation, every introduction, every coffee you have with someone smarter than you is a seed. Some grow fast, some take years. But one day, one of them will open a door you didn't even know existed. And no, this doesn't mean being fake or networking for the sake of networking. It means being intentional, showing up, being curious, asking, how can I help? Instead of what can I get? Because one relationship, just one, can change your entire path. A mentor, a co-founder, a friend who pushes you to think bigger. You never know where that next conversation will lead unless you start having it. The third investment you must make before turning 30 is in assets, not liabilities, not lifestyle. Assets, things that grow in value over time, even when you're asleep. This could be stocks, index funds, real estate, or even your own business. What matters is that your money starts working for you instead of you constantly working for it. Now, here's the key. It's not about how much you invest. It's about how early you start, because time is the real multiplier. The earlier you plant the seed, the longer it has to grow. Even a small amount invested consistently in your 20s can outpace large amounts invested later in life. Think of compounding like a snowball. At first, it's slow, almost invisible, but as it rolls, it picks up speed, momentum, Massachusetts. And by the time you hit your 30s and 40s, that snowball is unstoppable if you started rolling it early. But most people don't. They wait, they spend, they assume there's time, until there isn't. So here's the challenge. Pick one asset to start with. Don't try to master everything. Just start. Because the moment you do, your future self will look back and thank you for being smarter than most. By now, you probably realize something powerful. The best investments before 30 aren't just about money. They're about momentum. Knowledge sharpens your mind. Networking expands your world. Assets build your freedom. Together, they form a foundation that most people don't even think about until it's too late. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. One book, one conversation, one small investment. That's how it begins. That's how you separate yourself from a crowd that's just drifting through life, waiting for something to change. So I'll leave you with a question, one that could shape your next decade. Which of these three are you going to invest in starting today? Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect time. Just start. Because the life you want doesn't begin when you turn 30. It begins the moment you decide to build it.